What a surprise. The BBC, three cheers, because it sent a reporter round to Jas Athwell's properties in Redbridge in East London. Remember, last week I was remarking, about the petty bourgeoisification of the Labour Party. Well, of course, you've had trade union officials previously dominating, the ranks of the parliamentary Labour Party, true, decades ago, but I would include the trade union bureaucracy as a petty bourgeois layer. But now we have, not dominating, but nonetheless a significant presence of rentiers in the Labour Party. And of course, the leading rentier is Jas Athwal, and I think his property portfolio, owned with family members, was something like 14 residential properties and 3 commercial properties. And the BBC sent reporters round, and the tenants that they interviewed were complaining about black mold and ant infestations, and they were also saying that if we complain, the landlord's agents basically threaten us with eviction, no fault eviction, which is a pretty awful prospect. So you're living in highly unpleasant, unhealthy circumstances, and if you ask, if you demand that the landlord actually fulfills their legal duty, you're threatened with eviction. And okay, the BBC was reporting as they were talking to tenants, tenants were getting phone calls from the agent saying, don't talk to reporters, it will be bad for you. Of course, he didn't know anything about that, did he? Well, I don't know. All I can tell you is I'm a renter, for example. I happen not to be a renter that can be threatened with, no fault eviction. I'm a secure tenant. Thank God. It doesn't exist anymore. Either way, I've been complaining about my landlord to the local council, and my local council person who came around, we had the landlord there and we were going through what was wrong with our flat. He said, well, I don't know anything about it. I rely on the agent. This person, I live in Camden, she turned around to him. It was really quite good to watch, I have to say. She said, well, okay, you say you've got so many properties, you don't know what, it's your duty to know what's going on. That is your duty as a landlord. And I say that is also true with Jas Athwell. It's no good simply saying you didn't know anything about it. If you didn't know anything about it, it's your duty to know about it. I wouldn't, of course, accuse him of lying. Nonetheless, it has to be said that someone like him, along with other rentiers in the House of Commons and indeed in the House of Lords, have a material interest to keep tenants in a vulnerable position, in an exploitable position, where if they complain, they can be threatened with eviction. From our own angle, we're in favour of social housing, cheap but good quality, high quality housing. Our aspiration isn't little rabbit hutches, but it's the sort of vision that social democracy, for example, in Austria, in Red Vienna, in the 1920s had when it built Karl Marx Hof in Vienna. It not only had its kitchens, it also had its workers' defense squad.